Alright, let's jump into this video. This is the final from our rain day makeup race out at G&J Kartway. This is the OVKA 206 Masters Heavy class right here. We are doing the 2A configuration in reverse travel. And if you watch my pre-final video, I qualified pretty well out of a 17 kart field. I was qualified in the 5th position, started the pre-final, had a mental lapse going into one of these corners up here, and ended up dropping back to 15th place after I did a nice little spin, and I was able to battle back to 10th place. So I'm starting in 10th. Again, it's not fantastic, but it's not terrible. You know, I can see the guys in the front. You never know what's going to happen. I'm hoping I can make up a few spots. I don't want anybody to crash or anything like that, but you know, that's always a possibility, and if you can avoid them, it could turn out to be a benefit for you. So we're coming around, getting ready to start. I'm giving the 89 a little push. You've seen him in some of my other videos. He's around me a lot on the track. 32 I'm around a decent amount as well. And but we're off. I'm giving him a good push. I stick with him. I kind of I don't like to be touching bumpers going around these curves on the very first lap. So we're heading down here, but my line did go pretty well. So, we had a spin. So that was the 44 and the 318. I don't know exactly what happened, but they both went around, and a couple of guys shot through the track right there and didn't take the curve. So my buddy, the 89, I'm going to give him a shout out right now. He didn't really need to slow down for me. But, I've been in this position. It's confusing. You don't know what to do if you haven't done that many times. And, he ended up cutting the track, but it was to avoid an accident. But in his mind, he needed to let some of the people that he probably got in front of back past. So, he let the 32 by. I was behind him, and I saw what he was doing, and I knew what he was doing because I've done it before. And I'm to the point now where any of that stuff goes on, I'm just keeping the hammer down. And I just kept the hammer down. And unfortunately for him, I went past him. He did tuck in behind me, and so he's in. Right now, I'm in 5th place, so he is in 6th place. And again, I think the 89 is right behind me in the points. So at the start of this race, I believe I was in 6th place in the points, and he might have been in 7th. But I've got the 32 and the 20, a couple guys that were around me when I started the pre-final, up until I spun out, and they're right in front of me. In the pre-final video, I did discuss that I needed to change my gears, and I went ahead and rolled the dice on it. I'm like, I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm at a good spot in the field where I think it might be a decent gamble. It'll give me a little higher top end speed, and hopefully I can use that to move forward. Now, with the help of that spin, I did move up basically 5 spots. I'd already gone around maybe 1 or 2 people just coming up to that turn, based on the outside line going pretty good. I think I got by the fellow that had finished the pre-final in maybe 7th place. I think I was past him, and the guy on my inside finished 9th place, and he's already passed me. So I've got 2 people behind me that started in front of me just by virtue of passing them at the start, and then the 2 that spun out are now behind me. And they're trying to dig and get back, but they've got a pretty big deficit, and we've got pretty clear sailing up here. Let's top 5, 6 karts. We're single filed out, and we're just putting the hammer down. So the 32 I'd mentioned, he's been fast all weekend. He threw on those new tires. He's got his kart set up well, and he's challenging the 20 up there. And they're pretty far ahead of me at this point. But I'm starting to, the gear change is seeming to work out. They're not really pulling super far away on me. And I feel like I might be able to run them down a little bit, especially through these corners. As I'm getting a little more used to the corners, you're trying to size this up visually. You can't really tell 100%, but I think I'm closing on And once they make that pass right there, I really close up on the 20, and neither one of them are that far ahead of me at this point. At least through those corners. They will spread it out once we hit the straightaways, then you're like, wait a minute, maybe I'm not as close as I thought. I did mention I was going to shout out the rest of our Racing for Vet sponsors. Let's see, we also have some sponsorship from the Buckeye Karting Challenge, the Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association, Chapter 12-4 in Kettering, Ohio, DeWalt Tools, USAC, Redline Oil, Fiera Motors, Colmar Racing, 488 Performance, Fremont Raceway Park, Panch Graphics, R&M Welding Supplies, Holt House, Lackner Signs, Fetters Construction, Magnify Giving, Dave Schultz, Grasshopper Racing, Go-Kart Swap Meet. So again, we really appreciate the support that we get. It really helps us get out there and compete, and gives guys, a good outlet to get out there and get some stress relief. So this is a 10 lapper. It was going to be a 12 lapper, but it was pretty warm out. They decided to kind of speed the day up a little bit and drop it 2 laps. So it was a 10 lapper, just like the pre-final. That was weird. It was pretty hot. I was drinking plenty of water, but I was getting like weird cramps in my forearms sometimes driving this. Didn't hurt, just felt weird. It didn't really affect anything, but it was slightly distracting driving around with your forearms and weird stuff. But I am starting to move in on the 20, and I'm thinking maybe I can get him. I'll get right now I'm tooling around in 5th place. I really have no idea if anybody's close behind me because I haven't been doing too many over my shoulder checks to see what's going on. There's only a few places. Mainly when you try to check is when you come around a corner and you can look left or right and see behind the track on you a little bit. It's going down the straights. It's a little bit difficult with your helmet and your neck brace on to turn around and look directly behind you. But when you go around corners, sometimes you can peek back over your shoulder and see if somebody's close. But I'm catching the 20. And hopefully those little messenger dings, you'll be freaking out watching this video and wondering if your phone's dinging while you're watching. But it's my phone dinging while I'm doing the audio for this. So I gained some pretty good ground right through that corner on the 20. And I noticed my line going up the hill that we're approaching was paying off at least as far as gaining ground on him. So I was not swinging it out much. I was hugging it right here, and then I wasn't swinging out, and I was hugging it right here, and just taking it out to the max. And I was able to keep my speed up, and I traveled less distance, so I was moving in closer proximity to the 20. Now right here, I'm like, maybe I'll try a little different line. Maybe I can get under him right here, but I didn't. Tried it. It didn't really work. I stayed about where I was. And I know I've got like maybe 1 or 2 laps. He stays tight down there, so there's absolutely no chance of me cutting under him right there. And like I said, the end of the race is coming. Points are fairly important to finish the season out. I'm in 5th place out of 17 karts, so it will be a pretty good points day for me, whether I finish 5th or 4th. So I'm not going to do anything crazy to try to get around the 20 right here. I'm not going to bump him. I'm not going to rub him up on the inside. If he gives me some room and he bobbles, I'm just going to try to be ready to pounce on whatever may or may not happen. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I'm not gonna try to force it on him. But I start to pick up speed, and I'm like, maybe I can try to get under him because we're coming to the checker right now. I swing out wide so I can try to duck down low. He does kind of go out, and I pulled up almost next to him, but he held on for the 4th place finish. So that is the end of that video. Next race is at Whiteland Raceway Park. Have a good one.